What's up guys, before I start this video, make sure to like and subscribe to my channel and make sure you watch the last video that I made on every single class. I did promise to make a comparing list and this is the list, so we're gonna start in order. So we're gonna start from difficulty and I'm gonna explain everything in detail, so make sure to watch the whole video. And yeah, we're gonna start right now. None, obviously that's a D tier. None is like extremely hard. You start off the game with none. It's really hard and yeah, there's really nothing else, so you just gotta shovel. That's pretty much it. Okay, so the high roller, I would give it definitely an S tier, 100%. You know, you can get so much money from it, but just keep in mind that you will get hit by lightning, but that's pretty much it, especially because they nerfed it and made it so you can't get hit by lightning that much anymore, which is pretty good. And yeah, in reality you can just get so much money, and you can, like, as long as you find like gold bars or valuables and whatnot, this class is really good. But however, you do not start with anything, but when you do sell the gold bar at the very beginning, you do have $95. Alright, next we're talking about the survivalist. A mistake I made in my previous video is that I forgot to add the survivalist even though I had it, so that's my mistake. But yeah, so the survivalist, if you guys didn't know, the damage on it is so insane, so I need to put it in the S tier. Survivalist is definitely super easy. It's like these classes up here are super easy. Survivalist can literally one-shot any zombie as long as you're, I'm pretty sure, below half health. You can one-shot them at any place, so you can shoot them in a body and they'll die instantly, which is really good, and that's why the survivalist is definitely an S tier. Honestly, I'd give it underneath the high roll 100%. The Ironclad, it is honestly a C tier. It is not good. Actually, no, it's pretty bad. Actually, I think it's worse than none, because the Ironclad, yes, gives you armor, but you are so slow and it's really bad. Like you will like be outran like every time, and every monster in the game will actually catch up to you. So I would really not buy the Ironclad anymore. Back then, you would sell the Ironclad for its armor and you can speedrun in like 30 minutes. So make sure to check that video that I made. Yeah, that's pretty much it for the Ironclad. It is really bad right now. I mean, previously it was good, but not anymore. Next, the Arsonist, honestly a C tier or lower, like maybe a high D tier. It costs, and this is my explanation, and you could watch my other video if you guys disagree. I already made a comparing list or a tier list, and a lot of guys like did not like the fact that I was crapping on Arsonist, but Arsonist is really bad, especially because yes, you could say it gives you double burn damage, but keep in mind, majority of the game you're not going to be using a Molotov, you're going to be using a gun. So what's the point of having Molotovs? On top of that, yes, you can just say yes, it's 20 bonds, really cheap, but keep in mind the Arsonist only gives you 4 Molotovs, and you're gonna have to buy Molotovs over and over again. And on top of that, the only way Arsonist is even good is if you have a horse. So like that's the only method, and the fact is, like, you need a horse for it to even work. It's like really bad. It's dependent on a horse, and you have to get lucky enough to even find a outlaw. And yes, you can say that outlaws are not rare, but I don't know about you, but like I was like playing multiple times, getting to like 10,000 meters and have not seen a single outlaw within those distance, and it's really annoying since you would have to skip the first town every time, and it's just not really ideal, especially because the burn is the only thing it gives you, and that's not really good. Honestly, the burn is definitely a buff, yes, but it's not as good where it will give you anything. But yeah, you can't even sell the Molotovs, which is also bad, because if you were to be able to sell a Molotov, I would give it at least a C tier. Alright, next we have the Doctor. I'd give the Doctor a B tier, mainly because if you guys did not watch my video already, the Doctor can actually sell its items and start with 5 pieces of coal. And I'm only gonna judge this tier list based on effectiveness and how fast it can get to the end. So Doctor, definitely B tier. It only costs 15 bonds. On top of that, it's really effective when it comes to a group, because you can heal your teammates, but majority of the time you're not going to be reviving your teammates unless your teammates do something bad or something. But yeah, majority of the time you're not going to be doing that. However, if you play solo, you can start with 5 pieces of coal, which is really good. And so that's pretty much it for the Doctor. I'd give it a B tier. It's pretty decent when it comes to a team game, and on top of that, you get an extra 2 pieces of coal, so 40, 45, or $40, I believe. Yeah, $40 from just a Doctor. Our next, we have the Vampire. So honestly, the game just updated, not just updated, but it updated, and the Vampire just got a buff. The buff made it so the Vampire can attack faster, and it's also more quicker when it comes to speed. However, keep in mind this class costs 75 bombs. Alright, and It does burn in the daylight, and you know, a lot of people said like this class is really good, but in my opinion it's really bad. I've been trying to play with it for a while and I can't. Like the hype, honestly, I think it's overrated. Again, I think it's really overrated, especially because the fact is that you want to get to the end as fast as possible, but because you burn in the daylight, it's gonna be really hard for you even to loot town. So yeah, unless you have a game pass or something, I'd give it like a C tier, higher than Arsonist, none, and Ironclad, which costs 100 bonds. I forgot to mention. Next we have the Conductor. The Conductor 100% is an A tier. Yes, an A tier depending on what you're trying to talk about. The reason why it's A tier is because it helps you get to the end even faster. So if you didn't watch my other video, I compared the Conductor with a person with no conductor speed. The Conductor actually makes the trade goes up to 84 speed, which is really fast compared to a normal person who's running at like 60 speed or something, you know. And yeah, in reality, the Conductor is just really good. He spawns you with 2 pieces of coal, which is even better. So you start with 5 pieces of coal, and on the top of that, the only downside is that you know you only have 0.5% of your health, so you're really weak. And that's the only downside about the Conductor. But just keep in mind, it is really hard to play solo with it, especially because the amount of health that you have is just really difficult. So in reality, it could be actually compared to none. None actually does not give you any buffs, but this class does give you buffs, just that your health is cut in half, which is pretty bad. But just keep in mind, if you're playing with a group, then it's really needed, especially for speedruns. Next, we have the Miner. So the Miner, honestly, I'd put it, depending on if you're playing with groups or not, or solo, I'd give it above the Doctor or below the Doctor. So it's either one of them, you know. But the Miner gives you 2 pieces of coal at the beginning, gives you a pickaxe, but the pickaxe doesn't really do anything. And then on top of that, you know, the Miner does give you light, like a headlight, and you're able to see and whatnot. But that's pretty much it for the Miner. There's not really anything about it, but it's really cheap. It does cost 15 bonds only, so it's definitely beginner friendly. It's really easy to use. And yeah, if you're brand new to the game, I really recommend you get the Miner so you can learn how to play the game before you buy any other classes. But yeah, this is what I would recommend if you just started. So the Priest, definitely a D tier. I don't really need to talk about that. It costs 75 bonds. It recently got nerfed because the holy water was not be able to be sold anymore. I did make a video on like explaining why the Priest was the best class, and I was right. I predicted it was the best class, but then it got nerfed like a few days ago. And you know, the Priest is now not the brightest. It does not let you sell the cross nor the holy water, which makes it really difficult to even use. So yeah, the only buff it gives you is being able to not get hit by lightning. But just keep in mind that as long as you stay underneath a building and whatnot, you're not going to get affected. But also the Priest, you know, because you can't sell the gold anymore, I mean the holy water and the crosses, then it makes it really hard to even use it, especially because it costs 75 bonds. And you know, you definitely don't want to spend money on a class like that. I would definitely give it definitely higher than the Ironclad though. 100% higher than the Ironclad. Ironclad is the worst class in the game. But yeah, next we're gonna talk about the next class. So I'd give the Cowboy instantly above the Survivalist, mainly because honestly no bias or anything, but I believe the Cowboy is actually just the best class in the game. Have your own opinions on it. I made multiple videos on everything already, so just watch them. If you have any opinions, comment down what you care or whatever, but just be friendly. This is just my opinion, right? This is just my opinion. You don't have to agree with my opinion. But yeah, I suggest like the Cowboy is the best class because it costs 50 bonds, which is on the slightly expensive side. But keep in mind, if you save enough bonds, and you can get 50 bonds in 1 round if you farm correctly. But the Cowboy is really good, mainly because it spawns you with a free gun. And keep in mind, the gun costs, the Mauser or the shotgun costs 148 Robux, and you're getting a gun for free. On top of that, you're spawning with a horse, and you're getting also ammo. So you know, you're gonna be stacked already at the very beginning. That's literally all you need to get to the end. And on top of that, it's really good for farming bonds. So if you check my other video, I made a video on the Cowboy, why it's really good for bond farming. And you know, it's extremely good. It's just the best. Like, you spawn with a horse, which obviously, yes, you can just find a horse out of nowhere, but keep in mind, yes, you can spawn with a horse. You're actually able to loot the towns at the very beginning, because normally you're not going to run into an outlaw at the very beginning from, you know, 0 to 10,000. So you don't get to skip that class. And also really easy, if you see the method that I provided in my video, it's just really broken. Next we have the Alamo. So honestly, the Alamo, depending on what you're doing, I'd give it a, I mean, it does cost 50 bonds, but I'd give it a C tier, higher than the Vampire 100%. The Alamo, yes, like you can say yes, it gives you armor and whatnot, but keep in mind it costs 50 bonds compared to, like, let's say a Cowboy. This costs 50 bonds, way more effective than the Alamo will ever be. If you guys didn't know, the Alamo can be replaced by just simple newspaper. So you can actually just use newspaper, and you can use paintings and whatnot to block out gunshots from outlaws from outside, and it's just so much more effective than, you know, the Alamo. I know someone in my other video, they said that the Alamo is at A tier because it has metal walls and extremely important for a train. But keep in mind, again, I already said this, but you can literally use the newspaper at the very beginning for protection, and you spawn of 3 newspapers, and that should be enough for you to even be protected. You just gotta block out the windows and the back, and you're pretty much it. There's really nothing else, and yeah, it just saves you a ton of time. But yeah, you don't have to, you know, go to the hassle of spending 50 bonds on just an Alamo class. But, you know, a ton of people were talking about the Alamo. Next, we have the zombie. So the zombie, honestly, definitely lower than the vampire. The zombie, the only benefit it has is that it can heal. Keep in mind, it costs 75 bonds. I don't really have to talk about this. It's just really bad, really crappy. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So I'm just gonna go through every single class again and explain. So first we got the Cowboy, mainly because you spawn with a horse, really good for bond farming. On top of that, you could clear towns really fast and get to the end really fast since you're targeting the banks, and that's pretty much it. I already made a video on it. If you are questioning my opinion, you know, you can just watch those videos. It probably change your mind. Again, this is just my opinion. Next we have the High Roller. Obviously the High Roller is going to be an S tier because 1.5 times or multiplier on anything really broken, but also the lightning strikes doesn't really happen often. I made a video on it previously. Watch that again. I was riding a horse the whole time with the High Roller and a 10 times multiplier getting hit by lightning, but I didn't get hit by lightning a single time the whole entire day with the lightning, with thunder sounds happening and whatnot. I did not get hit at all. Next we have the Survivalist. So Survivalist, self-explanatory. It's really beginner friendly, especially because the Survivalist just does a ton of damage. Even if you have full HP, you can still do a ton of damage. Next we have the Conductor. Conductor is self-explanatory. It's just really fast. You're really good if you pair it up with, like, let's say a good team, or not just a good team, but in reality it's just really good if you want to play with people, especially because it just makes you go fast. Next we have the Miner. Beginner friendly, especially beginner friendly. You spawn with 2 pieces of coal with light, so if you're scared of the dark, you know, you can use the Miner, and it's pretty bright. The light is really bright, so you're definitely not going to lose any items when you loot in any single, you know, place. Next we have the Doctor. If you sell the bandages and snake oil, you can actually end up getting a total of 5 pieces of coal if you solo, which is a bonus of $40. So you get $5 per bandage and $15 per snake oil. On top of that, you can revive your teammates. So it's definitely a support class. And Alamo, honestly, it is a support class, but more of a defense class. But for 50 bonds, really expensive. But you can also replace the Alamo with just simple newspaper. And someone in my comments, I cannot find it, told me that whenever a Cowboy, or not Cowboy, a outlaw shoots newspaper, it can actually fall off. But that's completely a lie. But that's not possible. You know, they haven't added that yet, and they probably will add it in the future because it is kind of broken. But next we have the Vampire. Self-explanatory. The class literally kills you, you know, in a day. It literally kills you. You're losing so much health. But yeah, next we have the Zombie. There's really nothing good about the Vampire Zombie, I'm not gonna lie. It was just overhyped. Just trust me, if you don't have it yet, buy it, and then you'll understand what I'm saying. It's not good. I forgot to mention, yes, I have every class in the game, so buying the Vampire and the Zombie was so regretful. I grinded so long just to get 75 bonds, and then just to realize that it's not really good at all. But next we have the Arsonist. So the Arsonist, I have so much hate right here, so I'm showing on the screen. Not hate, but a lot of people disagree. Like, the Arsonist is suited for more older classes and whatnot. So Arsonist just straight up overpowered since the Molotov is easy to obtain. Keep in mind, you're going to be using a gun majority of the time, so there's really no point of using the Arsonist. Arsonist just straight up overpowered since the Molotov are easily obtained and insane damage. Insane damage, but you could use a rifle and one-shot any zombie. That's all I'm saying. Arsonist deals 2 times fire damage. Again, you're gonna be on a horse the whole time, have a gun. Yeah, when you're playing Arsonist, you cannot deny it to me that you're gonna definitely be using a gun. Because let's say you're raiding a castle, you're definitely gonna be using a gun. No doubt about it. At the very end, you're definitely gonna be using a gun. Because how are you gonna protect yourself from the boss or the outlaws on the towers? You're definitely gonna need a gun. So there's really no point of an arsonist when you have a gun. Sorry it took so long. I was just trying to explain every single class, and this is my opinion. I've been playing this game for a while before it had like 2,000 players, so I feel like I have a good input in this game. And yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed. These are definitely the classes that you want to stay away from. These are the classes that you want to stay away from, maybe. And these classes, definitely beginner friendly. This class is only a support class. These 3 classes are definitely S tiers, and you must get it. It's really, really affordable. Not affordable, but once you get it, it will become affordable for the other ones. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Make sure to like and subscribe. I'm on the road to 2,000 subscribers, and I recently hit 1,000 subscribers, so thank you so much for that. Going to go now, so goodbye guys.